Hello and welcome back to the Geek on My Sleeve channel. In today's video, we are going to be doing the stay at home book tag. So Peter and myself were talking to our good friend Ba about this stay at home book tag. She brought it to our attention. We were talking about how much fun it would be, and we said, hey, why don't we all three do it? So here we are. Going to go ahead and read off the prompts, starting with Ba, then go into Peter, and then I will follow it up. Prompt number 1, laying in bed, book you could / have read in a day. What's your selection, Ba?
So I actually pick a book that I have read in a day, and it's Imagine Me, which is the last book of the series Shatter Me that I am really crazy about. This book came out last month, and it was not in one sitting because I had to sleep between finishing it, but I think I read this book in like 7 hours. It was very good.
I hear sleep is important, but yeah, I'm not familiar with the Shatter Me series. Tell us a bit about it.
It's a future world that a lot of people have superpowers, and we follow up with Julia Ferrers. I don't know if that's how you pronounce her name, but she is in an asylum because her power can take other people's lives with just the touch of her hands. And then we follow up with her being rescued. We see Warner, the bad guy, taking her out of there to use her to kill other people, and she trying to escape him with the help of Adam. And that's like the very beginning of the first book. It's a very good story. I love these books. They are amazing.
I am all about superpowers. One of my favorite series, The Reckoners by Brandon Sanderson, kind of seems a similar theme to that. And yeah, when it comes to names, I'm absolutely awful. I just read it phonetically in my head and am grateful that, yeah, don't have to enunciate it out loud. Pete, laying in bed, which book did you select?
I selected The Ritualist, which is by Dakota KROUT, the second series-esque.
The series is Divine Dungeon, which happens chronologically first, and then, yeah, The Completionist Chronicles, the name of the second series. Both amazing.
What The Ritualist is about, a paramedic who is overseas ends up getting his helicopter shot down, is now a paraplegic, I believe is the word, paralyzed from the neck down. And then someone who he used to work with, now they've gotten out of the force, ends up getting a job at a game company, and essentially they destroy his body and he enters into the game. So, typical lit RPG stuff. It's all about how you get trapped in the game.
Love the series. For my laying in bed prompt, I picked another lit RPG series, Dungeon Lord, The Race Haunt, book 1 by Hugo Heska. When I first picked up this book, just blew through it. We actually do that with a lot of our shorter series thanks to Audible and to 3x speeds. But it was a lot of fun, very unique take on the lit RPG genre. Typical trope, trapped in a game world, makes deals with the devil, so to speak, build up your dungeon and conquer the world, more or less. All right, second prompt for the stay-at-home book tag. Snacking, a guilty pleasure book. What did you pick, Ba?
So I chose this one. This book is actually in Portuguese, but it's the same cover for the English version, which is The Host, by Stephanie Meyer. Like I said, I'm terrible with the names because I always go back to my Portuguese. It's a sci-fi slash fantasy slash romance. It's a book that I bought in 2010, and I usually read at least once a year because I really, really enjoy this book. It's about another future world where ETs came to Earth, and they are parasites, so they need our bodies. We see how Wanderer, which is the name of the parasite, is on Melanie's body, but Melanie is still alive there. So they start talking and becoming friends and something like that. And we see how the relationship between those two work, and then how their relationship affects a wanderer in society of the souls, because they call themselves souls. I think at least in Portuguese they call themselves souls. And then how their relationship and works on the human world too, because then they go to a human population that they are hiding. It's very, very good. I love it.
I feel like my to be read list keeps getting longer and longer the more we talk about books. It reminds me of a popular anime that came out that I started and never finished, Parasite. Yeah, sucker for a good sci-fi fantasy. How about you, Pete? Snacking guilty pleasure book.
Another lit RPG, The Land, Founding, Chaos Seed, Book 1 by Alarong Kong. The reality is, it's not just Book 1. It's a great one because I can listen to it and do other things with minimal effort. And then at the same time, it's just really enjoyable. 8 books in the series at the moment, so there's just so much information there. Even if you're listening to it for the 8th time, there's more nuances, and it's just such a long book that there's things you forget between them.
Gnomes rule. I think we're still waiting on the last one or two to come out on audio format. Very few series are actually good about releasing both at the same time, but yeah, I think we're at book 8 or 9. The snacking slash guilty pleasure book I picked, I actually have a physical copy of. God Emperor of Dune by Frank Herbert. When I was looking at this reading prompt, I thought back to a friend of mine that I catch up with on a regular basis, and he pretty much said, I feel like you're always reading Dune whenever I talk to you. And it's just one of those series where if I don't completely reread the whole series, I'll at least go back and listen to God Emperor of Dune. And just like you were saying, Pete, with The Land, each time I listen to it, I pick up on something new or a new element or new perspective, because there's just so much going on in the Dune universe. Really excited to see the reboot TV series to be released later this year. And speaking of television series, our next prompt, Netflix series you want to start. What did you pick, Ba?
So I actually brought here my book box. It's this series I want to start. It's the first one is called Stalking Jack the Ripper. It's this cover. I don't have a lot of information about the book. I just know that a lot of people read it and they love it. And I bought these books on Christmas of last year. And I have been promising that I'll read eventually, but I'll read. Haven't started yet.
Yeah, the title alone kind of catches your attention, right? Stalker of Jack the Ripper.
The titles are very interesting. Yes.
Series you want to start, Pete?
It's a side series of the Divine Dungeon AXIOM by Dakota KROUT and Dennis VANDERKERKEN. So essentially, I really enjoyed the Divine Dungeon series, Ritualist series, of which it's not called the Ritualist series. The way they tie together is beautiful. And then the AXIOM, from the little bit I know about it, it takes something that in the Divine Dungeon series wouldn't seem super amazing. It seems very, I guess, average Joe, because The person who it follows, I think of him as the pillow guy, but anyway, he ends up becoming a mage, and he had a problem where he couldn't cultivate or something, so he was hindered. So I don't know if it's like an origin story for him. So I think that could be kind of cool for how he got there, or if it's a continuation, or if it's kind of like he does for the ritualist for Rexar, where it's like happening at the same time but a side quest. I don't know. I enjoy the universe. It's going to be interesting to see how many memes we get, or the sense of humor, since there is another author with it. Yeah, I'm going to be sad if they're toning that down.
Yeah, Dakota KROUT is definitely known for his puns. It's such a fun universe to play in. That's one on my to be read list as well. The one I picked for the prompt, though, is a Mark of Kings, the Shattered Reigns series, book 1 by Bryce O'Connor and Luke Chimolenko. We being Peter and myself, and done geek out sessions for the Ascend Online series, and really enjoy Luke Chimolenko's writing style. I think this is his first collab that he's done. Luke, if you're listening, I know you haven't heard it enough online already. Your memes are fire, dude, but get working on book 4. We're ready. But yeah, I think this is more of a delve into the fantasy realm, and I'm really curious to see more about it. I don't have too much memorized about the series, but again, Luke Chimolenko writing with another author should be a lot of fun. So next prompt is Deep Clean. Been on your to be read for ages, and I'm sure we all have a handful, because there's always more books that we want to read than we have time for, regardless of how fast we frame Jack. Which one did you pick, Ba?
So I picked Lord of Shadows, this one by Cassandra Clare. That's how you pronounce it. It's the second book of the Dark Artifices series. I've read the first one when it came out. I think it was like 3-4 years ago. I don't remember quite well. And I really enjoy it because I really like this universe that Cassandra created. Like, this is the third series into this universe, and I think it's very interesting. And I have been wanting to read this for a long time, but for some reason I never bought the book and I never got into the second book. But now I got this as a present, and I have to read now. So it's in my TBR for a long time, but it's going to be read.
It's a pretty thick looking book.
It is.
You could never go wrong with a book as a gift.
Books are the best gifts ever.
Best gifts ever. How about for you, Pete? What is your Deep Clean book?
Rogue Dungeon, a lit RPG adventure. Essentially, through all the other lit RPGs, if you haven't picked up yet, Audible suggests books. It has been suggested for a while, ended up picking it up, and then got distracted. So yeah, it's just sitting there taunting me, ready to be listened to. Lit RPG is really all I know.
I was about to say, I'm starting to notice a theme with your book picks here, Pete. Would you say that you're a lit RPG fan? Is that a safe assumption? My Deep Clean book prompt is Gardens of the Moon, the Malazan Book of the Fallen, book 1. This is an epic / high fantasy series that I keep hearing about. Everyone encourages me to pick it up, especially since I like that type of thing. I enjoy the long epic fantasy series, and I must have picked it up on sale or something for Audible and just completely forgot about it, because I've had it since April of 2015 and haven't gotten around to reading it. And that's saying something for me, because typically when I pick something up on Audible, I almost instantly burned through it. Next prompt, and one of my current guilty pleasures, Animal Crossing. Book you recently bought because of the hype. What'd you pick, Ba?
I picked this Crescent City. It's the new book of Sarah J. Maas. I don't have to say a lot, but I'm a huge fan of Sarah. This book I actually got on the pre-order because I was like, it's not just the hype that is around her, but it's my hype. I like, if she publishes her shopping list, I'm probably going to buy. She's just amazing, and I love her stories. But I haven't read it yet, so.
That's a book I see everywhere. People either love it or hate it, but almost everyone I've heard from loves it. So I am just now recently discovering Sarah J. Maas, and so far so good. Another one for my personal TBR. How about you, Pete? What is your Animal Crossing / hype?
I put down the Arc of Scythe series by NEAL Schusterman. People who were with here today, we did the first book in the series, and we have the Geek Out for the second one. Not a lit RPG, but it is a dystopian that you can't die. That was quite a bit of hype. And then after the second one has such a cliffhanger, need to continue the series, really enjoying it. More so than I thought I would for young adult. The couple other young adult books we do are for the nostalgia feels. This one was suggested by Ba here. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the series.
These books are the reasons why I used to have a hard, fast rule that I wouldn't start a series until it was finished or almost complete because, wow, every book is a cliffhanger and you just want to pick up the next one. It would have been painful to have to wait 2-3 years to get the next installment in the series. A lot of fun. My Animal Crossing / hype book is another Sarah J. Maas title, the Throne of Glass series, that it's just everywhere. I had seen it before, back before the zombie apocalypse / COVID-19 when I would go to the bookstore every week, even if I didn't get a book. My son and I would go visit and just kind of walk through and see what was new and hot. It was always there. Like the latest one would always be on the to check out end caps. And yeah, finally getting into it, and I understand the hype. It is one that we have listed for our upcoming Geek Out streams. Really looking forward to getting into the nitty-gritty / details of the book. And I believe that one's the last weekend in May. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, in case you missed it. Next prompt is productivity. Book you learnt or had an impact on you. Which one did you pick, Ba?
This one I had a little bit of trouble choosing because I was like, if I'm going on the emotional impact on me, I cannot choose a book because there are so many books that have an impact on you. So I actually chose a book that I am learning from it, which is Italian for Dummies. I love the titles of this series because I'm trying to learn Italian now, going for the third language thing. Hopefully, it's going to work.
Bilingual's not enough. Going for trilingual.
And then a fourth and a fifth. We'll see.
Pete, your productivity book prompt.
Really, I could pick any lit RPG because they just teach you so much, but I went with Life Reset because there's just something empowering about starting a goblin village and settling down with a woman and making a prodigal child, of which is going to start a whole new era and save the world.
Hashtag minor spoilers. New Era online book series. one of our favorites, one of our early Geek Out streams. If you can't learn something from starting out as the lowest of the low, a mere goblin minion, and then building yourself an epic goblin dynasty / village, you're not paying attention. My productivity prompt book is another one I go back to and listen to every 6 months. When I need a kick in the pants, I turn on my audiobook, Be Obsessed or Be Average by Grant Cardone. He is not for everyone. He's a high energy, ambitious guy. And yeah, this book just gives you permission to be obsessed with whatever it is in your life and strive for what you want, and everyone else be damned. Go out and get it. And yeah, it's just one of those books that good kick in the pants, gets me going. I've listened to a lot of his stuff, and I mean, if anybody out there wants to sponsor me going to his next convention, his 10X convention, I would gladly accept your endorsement and would go along with you, and we can go to the 10X convention together and have fun, preferably after the COVID-19 situation, but I could always get out my steampunk mask and goggles and have fun with that. Next, stay at home book tag prompt, FaceTime, a book you were gifted. Now, Ba, you just had a celebration where I think you got gifted a lot of books. So which one did you pick for this prompt?
Another very hard prompt because my birthday was now on May 4th, and my very, very awesome husband, he gave me not two, but 16 new books. It was very hard to choose between those, but I got to choose the one that I wanted the most, which is this huge one here. Yeah, the illustrated Harry Potter book. I already had the first one, and he gave me the second one. That's the one that I chose, and I think that as soon as I finish Thunderhead, I'm probably going to go through this one.
I haven't played in the Harry Potter realm in a long time and didn't even know that was a thing. Can you show us some of the artwork from there? Like how much of it's illustrated?
It's not all of it, so there are a lot of pages like just reading stuff. But let me see. Like,
oh, that's fun.
let me see if I can find another illustration. Here, there is this other one.
Oh, wow. If Harry Potter wasn't already a gateway for children, I could see that being even more so a way to get kids hooked. Not only this incredible world, but high detail color illustrations as well. Heck, even as an adult, I still like my picture books.
There is this other incredible picture.
Oh, wow.
So it's very beautiful.
What a lovely husband you have. You should be good on reading material at least for the next couple weeks.
And I also have a Kindle arriving, so yes.
Curious to hear your thoughts on switching to an e-reader. I really enjoy mine. Peter, FaceTime prompt, a book you were gifted.
The Final Empire, also known as Mistborn Book 1, because it is the first book in the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson. Carl actually was the one who gifted it to me, and that was really one of the big books that got me invested in reading. Just an amazing magic system, beautiful world, just the twist at the end.
So many twists, so many cliffhangers. I believe Mistborn was actually either his first or second series. I think Elantris was his first one, and then Mistborn was like his first big series that really made it. And Wow. I have gifted it out to many individuals, and I really want to get that one on the schedule for an upcoming Geek Out session sooner than later. Yes, please. Amazing series. I think I would have fun being a coin shot, being able to fly with metal, using the metal to push up against you and fly through the sky would just be too much fun. For my FaceTime prompt, a book you were gifted. So obviously I have it in paperback. The Dragonlance Chronicles, 3 volumes. It was one of those series that my father was so excited that I was reading at a young age and finally caught that reading itch. I have him to thank for a good chunk of my Dragonlance collection. It's a classic. It's a fantasy series. A lot of the older generations are well aware of it because it was just like one of those few huge series that came out that if you enjoyed fantasy, if you enjoyed kind of Lord of the Rings feel to it, it's very much of the same flavor. I've gone back and reread some of them and they're still like really, really good. Now that I've read, several hundred books later, my views of them have changed slightly. Great series. Really would love to get into covering it on the channel. If you've read it, please let us know in the comments below. I consider it one of the classics of the fantasy genre. We're all trapped here in our houses thanks to COVID-19. The next prompt is self-care. What is everyone doing to take care of themselves? How about you, Ba?
Yeah, it's hard times, right? I have been studying Italian. I have been writing because I write a little bit, and I have been baking. So those are the 3 things I have been doing.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Reading, writing, learning, and eating. What else is there to life?
Exactly. It's the perfect life except for the COVID-19.
I do miss sunshine and walking through the bookstore. Pete, what have you been doing recently to take care of yourself?
Lit RPG, just to paint the picture, instead of seeing this as I cannot do XYZ, I've currently become trapped in the game and I'm utilizing it to the fullest potential. And it's been great. I've been here, I've been doing this project, I've spent a lot of time with my wife and my newborn. It's just been amazing. It's one of those like I get a lot of book time with you guys. I get a lot of time with my wife, and I get more time than I ever expected I would have with the kiddo. So currently trapped in this world. COVID, you can stay. I'm okay with the current situation as far as my life's concerned. I get everything delivered anyway, and the sun, it burns my eyes.
Our pale, translucent skin doesn't do too well in the sun. I think one of the most difficult challenges for me with the COVID-19 situation is not being able to love on my niece and see everybody, see family and friends. My self-care prompt has been just adjusting to the new norm. I already do most of my work from home, so that hasn't been much of a transition for me. It's been a bit of a challenge adjusting to the little one, doing e-learning. Another thing I miss the most is being able to go to the gym and exercise, and my self-care has been adapting at-home workouts. Been riding my stationary bike a lot more, got the dumbbells set up, able to do some at-home workouts just to try to keep training for, as Peter said, this trapped in a game world. Gotta make sure to keep increasing my endurance and stamina stats. Been grinding out my charisma stats here with these lovely people while doing some book-related content, grinding out my intelligence and wisdom stats while reading and learning. Anyway, everything I need I can do with the dumbbells I have and my stationary bike. Not as nice, and they don't have the hydro massage chairs to caress my aching old man back. That's what minions are for. Bonus. Name a book coming out soon that you are looking forward to. Ba?
So the book that I'm looking forward to, it's Blood and Honey from Shelby Mahuring. I don't know how to pronounce her name. It's the second book of a trilogy. I read the first one last year when it came out, and I was in a very reading slump last year that I couldn't read. Few books I was reading, I wasn't enjoying it. And then I read this one and was like, this book is very good. I like it. The second book is coming out now in September, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Tell us a little bit about the series. I'm not too familiar with it.
So it's a fantasy book. It's about witches and they are being hunted. And there's Lou, which is a witch. She is hiding from the high witch there, but she's also hiding from the police. And then she ends up being kind of arrested, kind of like, you're coming with us by Reed, who works in this army or police stuff. And then it goes from there. It's very interesting. I am looking forward for the second book, and I really want to reread the first one but I'm gonna wait until closer to September. But it's very good.
I try to make a point to go back and reread books right before the next installment comes out, just to have it all nice and fresh. I know not everybody gets that opportunity or has the time.
And that is why we are doing summary recaps. That way, we can give you the information that you can assimilate and remember without having to read the whole book. A bonus, name a book coming out soon. Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson is supposed to be November 17th, 2020. And it is the fourth book in the series, the Stormlight Archive.
Have you guys heard about this author called Brandon Sanderson and how obsessed we are with him? Because if you haven't, he's pretty freaking amazing. Book 4, and oh my goodness, like, you talk about series where your mind just gets blown. Thank goodness we're trapped in a lit RPG universe where we can keep respawning and just walk through all the brains on the floor as we continue to listen to this amazing series. But it is not for the faint of heart. The series is a commitment. It is a way of life. You talk about series that are so powerful and meaningful. I spend way too much time on Reddit, and I have lost count of the number of individuals who have come forward and say, hey, I'm not just doing this for pure karma, read it, don't read it, whatever, but this series saved my life. The hype train is real, the story is so powerful, and Journey Before Destination Radiance. The book that I am looking forward to coming out is a series that is amazing, and I want to do a why you should read the Spellmonger series. But I am hyped about Thaumaturge, Spellmonger Book 11. I believe it comes out in June. Oh my goodness, this series scratches that epic fantasy itch. Spellmonger is pretty much a wizard that goes out into the field and does work for like average civilians, where they could use magic to track down lost cows and chicken and sheep or whatever, and he gets paid in various forms of currency. And without ruining too much, we go from the spellmonger, quote unquote, this average wizard who is a military veteran, and we basically get thrown into an invasion type situation. I'll save it for the why you should read video, but a lot of fun. Really looking forward to it. I think that's all she wrote for the stay at home book tag. Thank you very much to Ba and Peter for hanging out and talking about some books, doing this tag video with me. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Hope to geek out with you guys here soon.
Bye.
Bye.